How to artificially inseminate a dog. Artificial insemination, AI, is the technique used to impregnate a female dog without that dog having sex. First, semen is collected from a male dog, and then it is placed into a female dog's reproductive tract while she is fertile. This, hopefully, will result in the sperm penetrating the female's egg and producing an embryo. While it is a technique that is performed by experienced dog breeders, it takes a lot of knowledge, skill, and practice to perfect, and so should only be done by trained professionals. Part 1: Assessing whether to use artificial insemination. 1. Determine whether or not to use artificial insemination. Dog breeders use artificial insemination for a variety of reasons. Some breeds suffer from a diminished gene pool, especially if the country has a small number of breeding dogs. If the male and female dog are separated by great distances, it may be cheaper to AI than to pay for transportation for the dog and their handler. Artificial insemination can also make the semen from a desirable male dog more widely available. 2. Evaluate the male dog for suitability for breeding. Only dogs that are healthy and meet breed specifications for conformation and type should be bred. This helps assure that the offspring will be healthy and display the desired breed traits. In addition to a general health examination, a breeding soundness examination is done to make sure the male dog's reproductive tract is healthy and sound. 3. Evaluate the female dog for suitability for breeding. Much like the male, the female dog needs to be examined to make sure she is healthy for breeding and that she meets breed standards. A female dog that is in ill health or who has reproductive problems could have problems getting pregnant, even with AI, or could suffer severe health problems due to a pregnancy. Part 2: Collecting semen from the male dog. 1. Collect the male dog's semen. Once the male dog has been deemed acceptable for breeding, his semen will need to be collected. Male dogs will become aroused in the presence of a female dog in heat, which is the prime time her body emits pheromones or chemicals that excite the males. When he attempts to mount, or breed, with the female, the penis is redirected into an artificial vagina into which he ejaculates. In some cases, a female at the correct stage of heat is not available. Frozen cotton swabs that were wiped in the vagina of a female dog at the peak of heat can be thawed and swiped on the tail end of any dog, which causes the male dog to respond. In some cases, semen can be collected and stored before a dog dies to be made available after his death. In others, injury may make it impossible for a male dog to breed naturally, yet he may still be able to produce semen. 2. Have the semen evaluated. After the semen is collected, the sperm cells in it will be examined under a microscope to make sure they are normal. This means that there will be sufficient numbers, shape, and activity. 3. Chill or freeze semen that it not used immediately. Chilled semen is used within 24 hours, or else it will need to be frozen. Semen is stored in liquid nitrogen containers at sub-zero temperatures. This way, semen can be used years later. The best success rate comes from use of fresh semen. With chilled semen, the success rate drops to 59 to 80%, and with frozen it falls to 52 to 60%. Part 3: Implanting semen into the female dog. 1. Make sure the female dog is in the correct stage of her estrous cycle. Unlike the male, she needs to be in the receptive stage of her heat cycle in order to breed successfully. Females typically come into heat twice a year. Each heat cycle has a preparatory proestrous stage, where the female's vulva, visible to the outside, swells and she bleeds or spots blood for 7 to 9 days. The uterus or womb is being prepared to make a suitable environment for the embryos to develop into puppies. After this, the bleeding slows and she becomes receptive to breeding. This stage is called estrus. This is also called standing heat, because it is the period when the female will stand to mated with the male dog. It is only during this stage that she will be able to become pregnant. The most fertile time will be at the end or just after standing heat occurs. Veterinarians can determine the stage of heat the female dog is in by collecting swabs inside the vagina and examining the cells. The swabs will collect cells which have distinctive shapes and sizes depending on the stage of estrus. This is especially helpful in those female dogs that don't swell or bleed much. 2. Insert the semen into the female dog's vagina. Insemination is fairly straightforward once the semen is collected and the female dog is in estrus. The female is stood on the examination table with her back legs slightly extended beyond the pelvis. A pipette is used to deposit the semen inside the vagina near the cervix. The insertion of the pipette takes special skill, as the female dog's vagina is quite long. The pipette is withdrawn and discarded. 3. Keep the dog standing after the semen is inserted. She should be kept standing for 10 minutes after depositing the semen. She should not sit or urinate, or the semen may run out. After 10 minutes she can walk around normally, but jumping and urinating should be avoided for about an hour. Tips. If you have no experience with dog breeding, hire a professional to help you with the process. Ask your veterinarian for advice on timing your particular dog's breeding. Read all that you are able to on breed standards for your particular breed to help you make the best choice for the breeding pair. Ask advice on breeding from experienced breeders. Prepare your breeding plans in advance so that the timing of the breeding will be at the ideal time during your female dog's heat cycle. Otherwise, it may not be successful.